Tensions in the Middle East have erupted into a dangerous new phase as Iran has launched a direct military strike on Israel. According to multiple sources, the attack was aimed at sensitive locations, including sites believed to be linked to Israel's nuclear infrastructure. This marks one of the most serious escalations in the long-standing conflict between the two regional powers. Sirens wailed across Tel Aviv and other major population centers as the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, issued widespread evacuation alerts. Residents were seen rushing to shelters, and emergency services were deployed to strategic locations. Although Israeli authorities initially reported limited physical damage and no confirmed casualties, the psychological impact has been profound. For many, the fear of a broader war is becoming more real by the hour. The strike follows recent reports of alleged Israeli operations targeting Iranian nuclear facilities, attacks Iran claims were part of a long-running campaign of sabotage. In response, Tehran vowed retaliation, and today's events appear to be the fulfillment of that warning. Iranian state media characterized the attack as a defensive response to what it calls repeated acts of aggression by Israel. Iranian officials also claim they deliberately avoided civilian casualties by focusing on military or infrastructure-related targets. However, Israel has yet to release detailed statements about the scope of the damage or the number of casualties, if any. In Tel Aviv, the mood has shifted dramatically. The sound of sirens, emergency announcements, and the movement of armored units on the streets has created an atmosphere of unease. Families have been asked to stay near secure shelters, and local authorities are bracing for the possibility of additional strikes. The IDF has moved additional Iron Dome units into position, and reports indicate that interceptor missiles were launched to defend against incoming threats. Residents have shared videos and images online showing missile trails in the sky, flashes of light, and the sound of explosions. Schools and public transportation have been suspended in high-risk areas. In a televised address, the Israeli Prime Minister stated that Israel would defend itself with strength and precision. He emphasized that the country is not seeking war, but is fully prepared for one if necessary. The Prime Minister accused Iran of destabilizing the region and warned of serious consequences should further aggression occur. Meanwhile, the Iranian government insists it is acting in self-defense and that it does not seek a wider war, yet also warns it will not hesitate to respond to any future attacks. The international reaction has been swift. The United Nations has called for an Emergency Security Council meeting to discuss the situation. World leaders from the United States, the European Union, and several Arab states have urged restraint on both sides, calling for diplomacy to prevail over further military escalation. However, geopolitical analysts warn that the situation could spiral quickly if cooler heads do not prevail. Some experts are concerned that this exchange may trigger proxy responses in Syria, Lebanon, or even the Red Sea region, where Iranian-backed militias operate. This is not the first time Israel and Iran have exchanged blows, but today's events represent a turning point. Until now, much of the conflict has occurred in the shadows, through cyber attacks, covert operations, and proxy wars. But this is different. A direct strike from one state onto the territory of another, especially when nuclear infrastructure is involved, raises the stakes exponentially. For Israel, maintaining deterrence is crucial. For Iran, demonstrating the capability and will to strike back may be seen as a domestic and international necessity. For both, the risks of miscalculation are dangerously high. As the situation unfolds, civilians across the region find themselves caught in the middle. The fear of escalation is very real, not just in Israel and Iran, but across Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and beyond. Questions remain. Will Israel retaliate with full military force? Will diplomatic channels be able to stop further violence? And how will this confrontation reshape the already volatile balance of power in the Middle East? For now, all eyes are on the region. Governments, military analysts, and citizens alike are watching closely. What happens in the next few days could determine not only the future of Israeli-Iranian relations, but the stability of the wider Middle East for years to come.